This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hello from the Acuff House Studio. It's our new studio home. Just over a month we've been here on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza. Starting another work week together. Back to school for most everybody in Middle Tennessee now, I guess.
So.
And if it hasn't happened where you are, it will probably over the next couple of weeks. Charlie, back home in Rhode Island, have they gone back yet?
No, not till after Labor Day. They're always anytime Renee posts a photo from first day of school, they're still always shocked. It's like, what? It's still summer.
Right.
Did they do the year-round thing like we do, where they get a fall break for about a month?
In New England? They certainly didn't when I was there.
Okay.
No, I think they
Maybe
still
that's
do
the difference.
Yeah, I think they still do the extended, like the normal summer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's nice. But they don't get out till the middle of June.
correct.
So it takes a while for
Yeah,
them.
it's all. I think you got to do 180 no matter what.
Okay.
Is the magic number.
So
Sounds like you're doing time.
Exactly.
You got to do the
Well,
180 no
yeah,
matter
you know,
what.
that's right.
Sorry, kids.
My wife and
ready.
her siblings got together over the weekend. It is Middle Child Day today. I got stories. And we got vinyl because today, for you vinyl record collectors out there, National Vinyl Record Day. And Charlie brought some.
Should be a day
Kelly
off.
brought some.
I mean, you know.
And I forgot until it was too late last night when I got the reminder. So I'll try to dig through and bring some in. But I'll have some for television. We'll have some graphics that we'll show you of some of my favorites.
I brought some that I thought you would like
All right.
because I found a few in there. I was like, oh, Bill,
Well,
I like this one.
yeah, I do like Don Ho. And I did see him in your collection.
Tiny bubbles.
I love Don
My
Ho.
grandmother would make me play that over and over and over. She'd say, play it again. And I'm like, you just heard it. Play it again.
When I was sick from school or in the summer months when his television show
Yeah.
was on, in the Louisville market, it
Yeah.
aired in the middle of the day. It was one of those midday shows. From the beach there at Waikiki. It's where he did the show.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I'll get there, but one day I want to go there. And I actually had a chance to do it a couple of times.
See, I didn't realize he had a TV show. I remember him from the Brady Bunch when they went to Hawaii.
when they went to
You know?
Hawaii?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I mean,
I
there
want
you
to
go.
say his daughter, Haku, played the Grand Ole Opry.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the movie Snow Day?
Haku Ho?
Yes.
What a name. What a name.
I do it with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
Snow Day. Yeah.
Yeah, anything can happen on a snow day.
Yeah.
And she starred in it and was featured obviously on the soundtrack. But
so
as
funny.
right around that same time she came to the Opry, she had a new album, solo album out or something.
I
So.
didn't know that. That's very cool.
What's Kelly Sutton working on over on her side of the room this
All
morning?
right. Well, we're getting through the stack of vinyl later on in the show, but we're starting off with all the things making entertainment headlines, including new music from Sugarland. They're back. So we're going to play you a little sample of that. Also, music from Little Big Town and Sugarland together as they continue to tour. And Casey Musgraves popping up in a place I just did not expect. So all of that coming up.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
From the Acuff House on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza, that in and of itself is a destination. Get off the beaten path.
More Coffee.
And take the scenic route. Take a scenic drive, rich in history here in Tennessee. Fresh air, gently rolling hills, down-home charm. We've got it all, and you need to come be a part of it. And for those of you who are Tennessee residents, you got 16 stops, 1,351 different recommendations when you total up those 16 trail names that you will find at tntrailsandbyways.com. Charlie, where are you taking us today?
Well, when you go on the website, just pick a region you want to go to, find your trail, and there'll literally be hundreds and hundreds of great options for you for either a day trip, a weekend getaway, or if you're going to come visit with us for a couple of weeks. But we're going to take you to the Ring of Fire Trail where you live. And literally, it's appropriately named.
Right now, this time of year is when dark fire tobacco curing begins. So the whole countryside, it's like, smells like a barbecue place. See? But it's going on right now. The Ring of Fire Trail is on fire, literally. On purpose, too, people.
From settlers and Civil War soldiers to the Bell Witch and underwater ghost towns, all on the Ring of Fire Trail. 72 different stops. Again, you can find all the information at tntrailsandbyways.com.
And don't go to somebody's house and knock on the door and say, do you know your barn's on fire? They started it. Yes, I do know it's on fire. The Ring of Fire Trail. Among the 16 that I referenced, you'll find more at tntrailsandbyways.com. Speaking
Coffee,
of,
Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Rhonda Vincent, sit down. make yourself at home in a very special place, the living room of Roy Acuff.
Feels like a hot seat. I'm in like, oh my goodness, I'm in the hot seat here.
The Acuff house, and your first visit to the show since we moved here about a month ago.
So beautiful.
And
I love it here.
as
Wow.
you look out the
at
window onto the
everything.
Opry Plaza. There's the entrance to the Opry house where people come see you.
Okay.
And the
See, I
Opry
wonder
shop,
how-
the merch shop next door, and the ticket office is all right out our door. And when people buy Opry tour tickets,
We can wave at people. Look at that.
they
People are
actually get to
walking in.
tour WSM as well as a part of this in our little museum exhibit just off from our studio here.
So that's part of the Opry tour.
Opry tour ticket, yeah.
Okay.
It's included.
Excellent.
And the wood you're sitting on is the same wood that the circle came from.
No.
So that's from the
way.
Ryman
This
in the
is
early
so
1950s.
special.
Yep. Mhm.
I love this.
We call it the rectangle. It's not quite. Doesn't
It's
quite,
not
you
the
know,
circle.
No, it's not quite.
You
the
can
circle.
spin in a you can spin in a circle while you're standing on the
You
rectangle.
could. Yes. There you go.
Make it a circle.
So, is it true that Matt Stell asked you to marry him when Matt played the Opry recently? It was on the night you were there, and Matt said, when I was, I don't know, he was like 8 or 10 or something.
That's
Silver
yes.
Dollar City.
Isn't that sweet?
You and your family, and he said
Yes.
in the autograph line, I asked Rhonda Vincent to marry him.
He did.
And he said, it's kind of awkward backstage tonight. She moved on without me, and I moved on as well, or I've tried to. And it was just the cutest moment.
That
I
was
just-
so sweet. Yes, that's awesome.
Well, and for those who don't know Silver Dollar City, that was the precursor to what we now know as Dollywood, right? Is that Silver Dollar
Yes.
City?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, and it's owned by the same family.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people, no, it's not. We shouldn't give those. You can't give away every secret, can we? Let's just keep secrets.
There you go.
Secrets.
So as you sit here on this special stage, and we mentioned Charlie referenced the Ryman stage, the wood from the Ryman stage, would that have been the first time you played the Opry? Would have
No,
been-
it wasn't.
No?
Now, the first time I was at the Ryman, I was around. My dad had a car wreck when I was 2, broke his neck, paralyzed the neck down, not expected to live or walk. By the grace of God, said, Lord, if you'll give me one good leg, I'll drag the other one. He ended up walking with a cane, gained his mobility a bit for most of his life. And so I believe I was 6, and we stood in the line to go in to see the Ryman, to see the Grand Ole Opry
Yeah.
at the Ryman.
Okay.
About when I was 6 years old. That's the only time I was ever in the Ryman until I played it. I played the Bluegrass series then years later. I
Wow.
believe that's probably, I think it was the Bluegrass series before I ever did the Opry there.
Yeah.
And then my family, there's that story. Silver Dollar City, pouring down rain, and we were staff musicians, punched the time clock, played 5 one-hour shows per day. And this particular day, pouring down rain, and Darren and I are like, Dad, other bands are just sitting and waiting until the rain passes.
And-
Well,
and
it
for
rained
peop-
all day.
For
And-
people who don't know, this is a family band that's
it's a
doing
family.
this.
It's my mom and dad and Darren and I. A family band called the Sally Mountain Show. And so here we are. But Dad said they're paying us to play, and we're going to play our shows. So we played our 5 one-hour shows to no one. Empty chairs. Well, we were under we were protected, but the people would have been sitting in the rain. Anyway, the next week, Hal Durham, who was the general manager of the Grand Ole Opry at that time, called my dad, said, Mr. Vincent, I'd like to invite you and your family to perform on the Grand Ole Opry. And my dad said, we'd just met Charlie Leuven. We thought he had recommended us, and Dad said, well, we want to thank Charlie for recommending us for the Grand Ole Opry. It's our dream to be on there. And he said, well, Charlie had nothing to do with it. And my dad said, well, how did you know about my family? He said, last week, while your family was playing in the rain, I was on vacation with my family around the corner listening. So it was a life lesson that you should always do your best, because that's how my family, the Sally Mountain Show, got to appear on the Grand Ole Opry for the very first time. And I need to figure out, I'm not sure what year that was. I do know, I have pictures from, it was a very pivotal moment. It was the very first night that Garth Brooks was on the Grand Ole Opry, his first appearance, his debut.
kidding.
We were there, the Sally Mountain Show was there, Garth Brooks was there, Connie Smith was there, and Reba McEntire was there, because I got a picture with Reba and I got a picture with Connie Smith. And so it had to be, I'm thinking, in that time frame.
And
We can
I'm-
Google when was Garth Brooks on the. That wasn't our first time, but I think it was very soon, because the first time we were there, I believe we wore dresses that my mother made. Mom made our clothes. We couldn't
About
afford
that.
fancy dresses. And I remember I'm in this picture with Reba, and she has this gold outfit, and I'm in this tweed jacket, and I thought, someday I want to have an outfit like Reba's got. And then we were at an auction or a benefit auction, and I got to buy one of Reba's dresses. So I have one of her. I can actually dress like Reba now. And it just fit, and so did the shoes.
Perfect.
Garth's Opry debut, June 24th, 1989.
89.
That was
So
going
it
to be
would
my
have
guess,
been-
was 89. That's what
35
popped into my
years.
head.
Yep.
It would have been before that. So I would say, 86, 87, so right around in there.
And now you and Garth share membership in the Grand
Isn't
Ole
that
Opry.
so
How cool is that,
I
right?
love it. I love it.
And that story
makes-
you just told about Hal Durham being there and knowing how dedicated you were, playing to nobody in the rain,
Yeah.
and hearing you, that's Charlie Daniels' memoir, Never Look at the Empty Seats. That's what he titled
that's
his
right.
memoir shortly before he passed.
Charlie had so many great things. I remember hearing an interview of Charlie that really inspired me. And they said, "What is your greatest accomplishment?" And he said, "It's keeping," I believe the number was 40, keeping 40 people gainfully employed over 30 plus years. And it's like, wow, that is, and now Mickey Harris, who lives here in Murfreesboro, musical heritage, his family, the Carl Tipton Show, that was his family. He's been in my band for 22 years. And I look at Charlie, when he said that, I said, that's a goal. Aaron McDarris has been in the group for 15 years. So I love the longevity of that. And I have that as a goal also.
Well, your longevity speaks for itself, and you're still doing new things and destinations and fun places. It's
Yes.
a brand new album. And we've got a world premiere coming up here in just a little while.
This is going to be
Excited
cool.
Are we
for
going to do
this.
that in the first
We're
segment?
going to do that in the first
Hey,
segment.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. And Please, Mr. Please, we're going to feature that.
Oh,
so
thank
tell
you.
us about the album. Kind of
So-
from your mental teleprompter, run the track list or some of the things you're most proud of.
It was inspired by Jeannie Seeley, my Opry sister. She wrote a song for me years ago called "I Miss Missouri," and she had written it, and then she lost everything in the flood. Was that 2010? I think
It was.
She lost everything. She lost those lyrics. She invites me. When she got the invitation to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry, February 28th of 2020. We've become really dear friends. Anyway, those lyrics started coming back to her. She started writing them down. She called me. She goes, "Hey, I'm remembering the lyrics of that song I started to write for you many years ago." And she invited Aaron Enderlin and I to go to her house, and we got to finish it with her. So that's what prompted. It's like, I miss Missouri. Wow. We could have a destinations project. And I made a list of destination songs. I mean, that's how I got to Memphis, or I've been everywhere. There's so many songs that mention destinations, and that's how I got the idea for that. And with that, ended up recording some of the most unlikely songs, as you will see. Some amazing guests. I don't know how we ended up with them all on the same project, but
A 7-minute version of Wagon Wheel.
over 7 minutes. It's kind of it's not a duet per se, but Alison Krauss joins me on that. And
wow.
yes, so it's a perfect thing for DJs. If you want to buy something on Amazon, scroll through Facebook, run to the restroom, have coffee, and have a smoke, you can do all of that in 7.5 minutes if you want to play our new arrangement of Wagon Wheel. And we recorded that track 3 years ago, not knowing that it would release this year. And this is the
Wow.
20th anniversary of the song Wagon Wheel. Old Crow Medicine Show was on the Opry recently.
original, yeah.
Celebrating this song. And it's like, wow, thank you, Lord, for making this all work out.
Yeah, and then Darius, his popularity took it to the world.
Oh, absolutely.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
And Rhonda Vincent is our special guest with brand new music, a new album, Destinations and Fun Places. It'll be out soon, but you got the world premiere of Take Me Home Country Roads with Dolly Parton and Cody Johnson, and big plans for a lot of things you can do with that in the future, I know, and you hope to. And the 25th anniversary of Robert's Western World in downtown
We're excited we get to
Nashville.
play that today.
Yeah.
Tonight.
It's
and guess
actually-
what time we play?
Oh.
6:50.
No.
Yes. Yes. This is twice in just the last few days when we played at 6:50. I'm like, wow, it's becoming a trend.
So, Charlie, do you have the lineup handy over there for this day-long event that starts? Actually, it starts in less than an hour, 10:30. They're blocking off part of Broadway downtown, as I understand it.
Yes. So Rhonda Vincent and the Rage will be there. Yeah, and it'll be outdoors. That's the really cool part. Let's see. Jesse Lee Jones and Brazil Billy. No coincidence that they will be at Robert Thruster World, right?
I'm shocked.
Yeah. It was cool. Dale McCurry brought out Jesse Lee the other day to play on the Opry, and I don't think he'd ever played before.
Oh my goodness!
Because he was so emotional about it. So it was really.
I can
cool.
remember doing Opry Plaza shows with him back in the early days.
And Dell will be there as well. Let's see. There's some interesting combinations of people. The Cowpokes with David Ball, Ruby Lee, and Logan Ledger. Ruby Lee just made her Opry debut.
She's a fellow Missourian, too.
Yeah. Oh, she's terrific. She really was. John England and the Western Swingers with special guest Brennan Lee and Ranger Doug doing a little freelancing for Riders in the Sky.
I saw Ray Benson's on there with somebody.
He is. Ray Benson is there with, where did I just see Ray? He's there with Fiddling Around with Paul Kramer and
Paul
friends.
Kramer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it's a full day of music, and it starts at 10:30 this morning.
How fun is this going to be? Can you know where I'm supposed to park?
You know, I'd be a good day-to-day person if I'm on the payroll. I could find this information for you.
I'm just thinking, I don't think we're going to get to park like by the stage, do you? Usually we roll the bus up right by the stage, but I don't think that's going to happen today.
Maybe use that Ryman Alley.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of go in the back way. Yeah.
And you got 3 Grand Ole Opry stops this week.
I do.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, and then on the 10th.
No, Thursday.
Thursday, what did I say?
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
6th, 8th, and 10th.
Yeah. Only days.
I am the spotlight artist on Thursday. I am very excited about this. I get to do songs, some classic songs.
And this is the kickoff, just so people know, of Opry Country Classics.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, how cool is that? So I get to, I'm bringing bluegrass and country, doing songs that I haven't sang in a long time. Loretta Lynn's Coal Miner's Daughter. I haven't sang that.
Wow.
And then we're doing Country Roads. And do you know it's also a special, I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal this yet, but there's a special Opry honoring of the Osborne brothers. I'm making an Opry debut with a young man. He's 12 years old who's going to play banjo, and he's going to play Rocky Top with us. And that's also on our new album.
And what's his name?
It's Another Destination. His name is Chet Rickman. And Chet is coming all the way from West Virginia. We just played with him on Tuesday out in West Virginia. And I said, you know what? You've got to come. He is amazing. This kid he loves the music so much. You love to see these young, talented musicians, but he is so excited about the music. And his dad just revealed to him that he's going to be playing the Grand Ole Opry on Thursday.
That's Opry Country Classics. Larry Gatlin hosts, and I'm over there to keep him. I'm kind of, as Charlie and I laughingly say, when you work with Larry Gatlin, you know, when they put the little things in the gutters at the bowling alley so the ball doesn't go to bumpers.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we are to Larry Gatlin.
I understand. I can totally understand. And you know, Gene Watson was just added to that for Thursday also. So I'm hoping he asked me to sing a duet with him.
Well, you've done it in the past.
Will you call him, Bill, for me?
He told us a great story that on the Opry stage, because you were part of a duets project, but the song you and Hay sang, you did your vocals separately. And the first time you ever sang it together was on the Opry stage.
It wasn't. We'd never met, and my flight was delayed.
Yes.
And it was like Opry TV, camera blocking. You know how it used to be. If you weren't at rehearsal or camera blocking, then you can't be on the TV. I literally walked in the door. They're kicking off the song, and I ran out into the stage. We sang together before we ever said hello or even met.
That's great.
Pretty crazy.
Marion, North Carolina on the 15th for the Bluegrass Festival there. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania for the Gettysburg Bluegrass Festival. That's August 16th. Magoffin County Community Day, Salyersville, Kentucky. Rebecca Lynn Howard's hometown.
Oh, is it?
Rhonda and the band will be there on the 17th, and then a full lineup. You'll be here at the Opry for a veterans benefit on the 19th, and everything you need to know about Rhonda Vincent's tour schedule and when she's coming to your hometown or nearby, you'll find at rhondavincent.com.
Ooh, thank you, Bill.
So we were talking about the Olympics. Charlie was, for the radio audience a little bit earlier, what would your sport be if you were good enough to be an Olympian? What would you want to be? What?
I know what I love to watch.
Okay.
And I mean, I like to watch the figure skating and the gymnastics. I love that. I can't do any of that.
Okay. Did you, music has been so much a part of your life. Did you ever play sports in school growing up?
Elementary school, we played badminton, and a boy hit me with the racket. There's 2 times that my dad went to school, twice. That was in elementary school that said, you've sprained her wrist and she can't play this weekend. So she does not play badminton anymore. She does not play sports. So that's one of the. Then I also played softball. I mean, maybe one time, and it hit my. He said, no sports. We cannot have you not playing. The other time is, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I had A's in all my classes except for one, and I got a D, and that was chorus.
No.
Yes. My father went to school and said, I'd like to know your grading scale because we make our living doing this. Could you please explain this?
Oh, that's hysterical.
Well, it's like Michael Jordan got cut from his junior high team or something.
Oh, really?
Remember that story? They went back and found the coach. It's like, you are something else. You cut Michael Jordan. Well, we're going to close with Please, Mr. Please, a little different arrangement, a little more up-tempo than the original from Olivia.
Yes.
And what was the backstory on wanting to re-record a song?
I mean, I remember the song. Well, on this album, it has, like, Trisha Yearwood joins us. Trisha Yearwood and Jeannie Seeley sing on Margaritaville. Allison sings on Wagon Wheel. Sonia Isaac sings on 9 to 5. And then Cody and Dolly sing on Country Roads. And so there's all these different songs I didn't expect to record. I recorded Four Strong Winds, the Ian Tyson song.
Yeah.
And so I turned from singing that, and I just started singing Please, Mr. Please. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if we brought that up tempo, I think that's like one of my favorite songs now.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, there's all of these classics. People say, is there originals? There's original I Miss Missouri from Jeannie Seeley. There's In Between Town that I got to customize. You talk about getting to take a song. It talks about my mom's beauty shop, a small town, the Good Shepherd Church where I was saved. It has so many things relating to Susie's IGA store.
So what's your mom's beauty shop called?
Carolyn's Cut and Curl.
In Greentop?
In Greentop, Missouri. And I get to say, so In Between Town is another original. Bob Minner and his wife, Virginia, wrote that.
Oh, wow.
And so he let me customize it. It's like, hey, customize a song. It's awesome.
And he works for Tim McGraw, guitarist for Tim McGraw and the Dance Hall Doctors.
That makes me think of our longtime friend Nan Kelly, who we used to see on the Opry all the time. Her mom's place was Bell and Bowes in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I love the play on words of all these places, right?
So if Charlie and I ever stop in Greentop for a haircut, do we get an Opry discount?
I'm sure you would.
Okay.
I'm sure you would. I mean, her prices, she's never raised her prices anyway. It's probably the only place where she'll even pick you up. She goes and picks the ladies up at their house and brings them over and does their hair. They can't drive. They can't get around. So Mom picks them up still, yeah.
How
and my
sweet
band,
is
The Rage, I just want to, I travel with this world-class band. They are, most of them are playing on the album. And so they're doing all the music, as you'll hear on Please, Mr. Please. And it's just very exciting to get to do that. Adam, my fiddle player, and I, we were playing all the twin fiddles on there. Well, there's just a lot of great music, and I'm so excited to release this. It's on Friday, August the 9th, Destinations and Fun Places, so I hope you'll check it out.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Ready for a Made in Tennessee road trip? Let me tell you where to go. tntrailsandbyways.com. Get off the beaten path and take the scenic route. Maybe you'll wind up on the Walking Tall Trail. Southwest Tennessee, Buford-Pusser country. Rockabilly, rails, and legendary trails. Explore charming small towns, mom and pop eateries, courthouse squares. That's something you always enjoy, Charlie.
Big on the courthouse square.
And barbecue gems down in Southwest Tennessee.
You know, if you go to tntrailsandbyways.com, each trail has its own dedicated pages, and you can search by whatever you're interested in. You can do food and beverage, you can do historic sites, you can do fun things for kids, and each trail has easily over 100 things to do. I happen to live on the Jack Trail. No, I did not buy my home specifically because it was on the Jack Trail, but I will say it is rather appropriate product placement. But just 108 stops there, and if you spend even 5 or 10 minutes on the website, you will come up with dozens and dozens of great ideas for a day trip, a weekend getaway, or if you're coming to town for a couple weeks on vacation. It's indispensable.
And I live on the Ring of Fire Trail.
You do?
And it is the time of year when fire curing tobacco, dark fired tobacco, is the way we roll in Robertson County, Tennessee. And that's going on as we speak. And so much more. Charlie mentioned a couple of things there that I wanted to follow up on, and that's there are a total of 16 trails. And when he talked about those hundreds of things to do on each trail, 1,351 recommended stops if you get the travel guide at tntrailsandbyways.com. Well, Kelly Sutton, it is National Vinyl Record Day today. Charlie pointed this out last week, and in celebration, you guys brought your vinyl I forgot.
That's okay.
And I'll bring some later in the week, but we got some graphics perhaps we can show when
I brought enough for the whole class.
You did. I talk about my particular favorites.
This is pretty exciting because really going back to the history of the vinyl record and the fact that it played such a huge important part of WSM, it didn't come around until 1931 for us.
Yes, and Barbara Mandrell played a very important part in Bill Cody, WSM. Yes, she did.
That's listen, I have a few that I claim. They're not mine. I didn't purchase them. That one I inherited from my mom, the very best of Barbara Mandrell. Right. This one I actually bought. This one is Barbara Mandrell live. And part of the reason I bought it is because it's Barbara.
Did you ever see her live?
Yes, I have seen her live. There you go. Tilt it that way so it's not so shiny.
I saw her opening. She was an opening act
I love her.
For the Statler Brothers. Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, the first time I saw her. Yeah.
Okay, so fun story, and it won't go too long, but when I was doing competitive cheerleading here, I remember seeing her walk in because Jamie Lynn was competing at the same time I was.
Oh, wow.
And so Barbara walked in to the arena. Y'all, this is such a Barbara move. She walked in a little bit later than everybody else, so everyone is seated, and she had on a white jacket with an American flag on the back that was like rhinestoned. And I went, oh, it's Barbara Mandrell. I mean, and you could hear it in the buzz in the whole place. Everybody's like, Barbara Mandrell, Barbara Mandrell. So I loved her already because of her show. I loved watching her. She's one of my North Stars. I always wanted to be more like her. So that one
your love for her and my love for her is two different kinds of love.
Two different kinds of love. This one is one
I have got a crush, my baby, on you kind of love for me. Don Ho.
Don Ho was one of my grandmother's favorites. She would tell me, go play Don Ho, and I would have to play Tiny Bubbles over and over. And she also loved Jim Reeves. Yeah. She was a big Jim Reeves fan.
Look at this. This was a poster at the first radio station where I ever worked. There was a big poster that hung on the studio wall of Don McLean. American Pie.
And this one I brought in just for you because I knew you'd love it.
I adored this man. He was so good to me.
The best of Sonny James.
Came to see my mama off when she passed away. Didn't know he was coming. He and Dar sitting in the middle of the church right back in the back. And when I spoke, I looked back and the first face I saw was Sonny James.
Oh, that's
Sonny James. That's what Ray Stevens always called Sonny James.
So this one was one that my dad would play over and over in the car on an 8-track, but it was Anne Murray's greatest hits. And I could sing Snowbird. Oh, I heard her do Snowbird.
Mandy Barnett's been doing some stuff at the Opry
when
from
Mandy
her catalog.
Barnett did Anne Murray the other night, I about came apart. I said, oh my gosh, this is part of me riding in my dad's little Toyota truck with his 8-track in there listening to Anne Murray's greatest hits.
Was it a Toyota or Datsun?
No.
Had they made the conversion?
It had.
Okay.
It was brown. It was the color of this album cover.
Or Datsun. Yeah. Oh, my family, they said Datsun.
I thought that became Nissan.
It did. Datsun became Nissan.
Yeah, Toyota I think was always Toyota.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then John Denver. These are literally, I just grabbed a handful of them. So John Denver, this one because he was so daggone good looking. Mac Davis. Look at that.
Oh, from North Dallas 40 on the back.
Isn't that
there.
great?
Yeah. That's a great movie, by the way.
And then probably, if I'm really being honest, the first vinyl that I ever purchased with my own money was, I want to say it was either Flashdance, which is probably inappropriate because I was so young, or maybe Footloose. Or it could have been Olivia Newton-John's Let's Get Physical. So this is not Let's Get Physical. This is her first.
Last week marked 2 years since her passing.
I know. Isn't she beautiful? Look at the back of that.
Let me be there.
So those are some of my favorite vinyl.
And you bought Thriller too.
I bought Thriller, but my mom bought me that one, so I didn't count it. But it was probably the first vinyl I ever owned was Thriller with the fold out. He's got the baby tiger and the white suit. Yeah, I still have it.
Still holds up.
Still have it. All right, you brought in. Yours are so much better looking than mine. Yeah. Mine are like ratty and chewed up.
First record I ever bought
sleeves.
With my own money. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Damn the Torpedoes, Ann and Hope department store in Cumberland, Rhode Island.
That's amazing.
And then just two that are just iconic in music history. From 1956, the original Elvis on RCA.
Look at that cover.
And from 64, the original Beatles on Capitol. So those are just a few.
And if we have the graphic of my 1965 Johnny Cash, the True West stuff.
One is the 1965
Ballads of the
Johnny
True
Cash.
West. Big John Cash, 1965. It's Coffee, Country, and Cody. Take a look at that man.
Look at that.
Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Hey, welcome Stephanie Chapman. We have to stop talking now so we can talk now.
So we can
talk. So Stephanie Chapman, her husband. What's that? I'm sorry. Hang on. Wait.
Uh-oh. Now we
Charlie
got it. We got it. Try it now.
I was going to say the people want the talking before the talking.
Yeah,
They
it's
want to know all the
BTS.
secret stuff we talk about before like on air happens.
That's
Yeah.
a very
We
true
can't tell you.
story. No.
Like earlier off the air. Does anybody know where the plunger is?
I don't know who
We
said
still don't have
that.
one of those, do we?
I found it.
When you move into a new house, all those things get lost. Sadly.
And accompanied by your husband Nathan this time.
Yes.
It's been a while since he's been in the studio.
I
with
said,
us.
please come with me. You're cool. You know, he's kind of famous. And so I was like, come on over here and help me promote this show. And I texted Kelly. I said, I'm bringing my boyfriend. She said, oh, I won't tell Nathan.
And Nathan, your parents are Steve, not Stephen Curtis Chapman, but
Right.
Steve and Annie Chapman.
Yes.
And
Yep.
noted and celebrated like Stephen Curtis Chapman, who's about to become the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry. I want to make sure I mention that.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah. He just got
he's
invited.
a friend of ours. So that is really
Isn't
special.
it special?
We're working on a song together right now. Me
Are
and
you
Stephen
really?
Curtis. Yeah.
Throw that
And,
out next time.
yeah.
Like, hey man,
Yeah.
I heard you're going places.
I was said you could come. I didn't say you could have a bunch of cool stuff
Oh,
happening.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
No, but Stephen Curtis Chapman uses his full name because my mom and dad were in Christian music first.
Oh, that's so fun.
And his team said, you can't be Steve Chapman. There's already a Steve Chapman of my dad. And so he had to differentiate himself. And I asked him the other day, I was like, is that story true? And he said, absolutely. So
Oh, that's fun.
Y'all are probably kin, though, honestly.
I'm
I feel like all the Chapmans are related somehow. We just haven't dug into ancestry.
Well, his
to figure
wife
it out.
was a Chapman. It was a Chapman marrying a Chapman.
Yes. And there's been times we went to LA once for maybe it was the Grammys, all the people, all the Nashville people, and indeed the one Chapman picked up. We swapped suitcases, and it was like, hold on now, and it was really cool because I just wanted to meet them and say, hey, cool name.
Well, you
love
know,
my
it's,
mug,
it's
y'all.
how Michael Martin Murphy became Michael Martin Murphy because there was a Michael Murphy and he needed to differentiate with it,
Yeah.
so he threw in the middle name.
Yeah, it was
too.
a movie
Yeah.
thing. He was
Yeah,
doing a movie,
uh-huh.
Hard Country.
Yep.
And
I love the stories of how actors got their stage name.
Yeah.
You know, why they picked it, if it's their actual name. I think those are really interesting.
Well, Stephanie Chapman from West Virginia is in the house this morning and on the way to the Franklin Theater Saturday, August 24th. Nathan will be alongside, along with Natalie Hemby and
That's
Emily
right.
West.
Yes, all the stars. And Sandra McCracken, who's
Okay.
an incredible Christian artist and songwriter. And I just grabbed all my favorites and said, please come with me. So it's going to be a great night. You do not want to miss it. Come on
When
out.
you were here last, and we will be featuring songs from it along the way this morning, but Under an August Sky as we sit here on an gorgeous August morning in our new studio. Since we saw you last, we were back at the old Magnolia in the hotel, the Opryland Hotel. We're in the Acuff House living room. That's Mr. Acuff's living room right here. This was the fireplace.
Are you
over here.
serious?
No, yeah.
I didn't have time to do my research. That's awesome. Well, driving to get here, I thought there's this walkway, and I thought about Nathan, who grew up in Nashville and grew up going to Opryland. That surely you stood on that wooden walkway in line for a ride or something. That has to have been like a carryover from when this was Opryland, or no?
I don't know.
I just made that up.
I don't know. I know it goes to the parking lot, so maybe.
It felt like a theme park.
It looks like it was part of
Yeah, the new
this place.
studios is beautiful, you guys.
And thank you for our
Congratulations.
gifts. You brought in.
I brought merch-
like
merch mugs.
housewarming gifts to our new studio, and
This
it
is what the
says,
packaging
"Whatever you
looked
do,
like.
baby, be kind."
That's, so I have
That's
a song,
lyric.
a song on my album called "Be Kind," and that when you're trying to figure out what merch to make, I always like to go to the song lyrics and find something interesting there. So
I love this. This is perfect.
thank you.
you.
Yeah, they'll have those at the Franklin Theater for sale and have a great time.
You're going to do a show before that, right? You're going to do one at listening.
Yes,
Listening room?
my sweet friend Carolyn Dawn Johnson. You guys might know her.
We do.
She sang harmony with me on the show, on the album release party, the initial one. This one is again an album release celebration because it's actually August. It kind of all just lined up. But Carolyn sang with me, and we both love singing harmonies almost more than we love singing as ourselves, which is silly. I know. But anyway, she invited me and Emily West to join her at the listening room Thursday, August 15th. I know because it's the day before my birthday at 6 o'clock. So please come see us then too. We're going to have a great time.
You're having
See
all
how
the
she's-
fun.
I'm having a great week.
Slid that in there? That birthday thing?
Yeah.
See
Did
what she
I?
did there?
Did I say that
You
out
know
loud?
what? His face didn't flinch. He knows. He knows when that birthday is. He's got it in the
Please,
calendar.
we don't worry about that anymore. We just say, just I'll get what I need somewhere. I'll go to the gas station and get myself
you
a gift.
got Amazon. You kind of always get
Please
stuff.
I don't need you picking
know.
anything out for me. I'm sorry.
Amazon gift card printed out that morning.
That's perfect.
birthday
From
present.
the kids with
From
a
the
hand-drawn
kids.
card, it's fine, right?
Perfect.
We
That's
don't
all you
mind.
need. That's all you
Yes.
need.
By the way, the stage on which you sit came from wood on the old Ryman stage.
Ooh, what a
The
great
same
use
wood
of
that is center stage at the Grand Ole Opry.
I'm gonna touch it with
Yeah,
with
please
my boot.
That's awesome.
She
Isn't that
feels
nice?
good. She feels real good.
Well, you guys met, of all things, did I read in Normandy, France?
We did meet in Normandy, France.
Oh,
You like
get
that?
I
it,
see what
get
you
it.
did
That's
there.
nice.
Very nice.
Well
Very
done.
nice.
Well
Yes.
done.
I love this story because I do feel like when you see, first of all, an artist like me, you're like, well, where are you from? You know, are you a transplant? Well, first of all, I've lived here for 20 some years. I don't know how many years now. But Nathan is a Nashville native. And we didn't meet in Nashville. We met in France. I was running full speed away from any kind of musical career at all because I just thought there's no way anyone
And
actually
you're a
does that.
country kid from West Virginia.
Born and raised, and then over in Virginia in bluegrass country. And I went to France as a French major, and you went, Nathan, tell them.
Yeah, I
tell
went-
your proud moment of why you went to France.
Well, I was trying to get out of college as quick as I could, and they said, if you go to France for 6 weeks, we'll give you 8 hours of credit. And I was like, count me in.
And the story is really long and hilarious. It's like an over dinner story, but just suffice it to say, I had just started learning to play guitar. He was a virtuoso, and he wanted to borrow a guitar, and I said, no way am I letting some college kid play bad Dave Matthews licks on my Martin guitar.
All I can
and so
think of, Ken in the movie Barbie, can I play guitar at you? Not for you, but at you.
we did, Kelly, we did that after we finally sort of realized it was like a guitar off and a song off, and I was like, that's pretty good. Listen to this. So our marriage started in competition, severe competition. It's amazing we're doing so well together. But yeah, once I heard him play, I was like, that's pretty good. That could come in handy. And then he said, I live in Nashville. I was like, that could come in real handy.
So how long did you date? I mean,
We dated for 4 months before we got engaged, but then we had like a year of wedding planning. I needed a whole year of wedding planning just so it could rain on October.
Well, you know
That's
what?
luck. Good
That's luck, you know.
She told me, whatever you do, do not propose to me on your sister's wedding day, because that would be obnoxious. So guess what I did? And it was a Saturday, and my sister and her husband had left for their honeymoon, so they were gone. It's not like we took attention away from them. But I proposed to her, and then she said yes, and we were calling her family and freaking out. And then she said, what do we do now? And I said, well, I have tickets to the Opry. And so we came to the Opry immediately after we got engaged. And when we picked our tickets up at Will Call, she put her hand down, you know, real like showy, so that the person at the ticket counter could see it. And he goes, did you just get engaged?
I said, yes, and I'd like to see Brad Paisley now, please. Thank you very much.
We sat up in the nosebleeds and had a great night. It was an awesome.
So it's
yeah.
truly full
great.
circle, near the circle, on the circle, on the wood. It all
perfect.
is. That's my Nashville story there.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And it is Middle Child Day, so salute to all the middle children out there. My wife is one. We got together with her siblings over the weekend. I went back. It turned out we wound up at a place that they were going to have lunch, a sibling lunch. You know, like now both the mom and father, the mom and dad have passed away. And they say a lot of families start to drift apart when that happens, when both are gone, particularly if you're separated by distance, and they are. So we decided to all meet at the family farm at her sister's place, and her brother came in from out of town, and we went to lunch. And we went to the Cedarwood restaurant in my hometown where my father pastored for 21 years at Woodlawn Baptist Church, where I spent my formative years. And then he and mom continued to live there, my folks. So we go to this hangout of Cedarwood restaurant that has been there since 1959, and all my childhood memories of hanging out with my dad and his friends are in that restaurant, because that's where they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And you ran into everybody.
And the stockyards was next door.
Right.
So all the farmers were there, all the businessmen ate there. And Rebecca says, I bet you're going to run into somebody you know when you walk in.
Of course.
I walked in the door, and my birth name is Trent. That's how everybody in my hometown knows me. I walk in the door, and instantly To my right, a female voice says, Trent! And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I turn, and it's one of Rebecca's best friends growing up. Like, she used to spend the night at her house. And that whole Pam
so
Smith is
cool.
sitting right there with her sisters and her mom. They'd come to visit a friend who was not doing well, was in hospice care, and decided to have lunch randomly at this restaurant, Cedarwood Restaurant, my hometown.
It's the
I
thing.
start back to the table to sit down. Everybody else is seated by now, right? And I see this lady looking at me. She extends her hand. And I was like, oh, I know this face. I know this face, but I know it from a long time ago. Ms. Barlow. And by the time I got to her and she says what everybody always says.
Do you
Charles,
know me?
Yeah. You don't know who I am, do you?
That's the worst.
Tell me
Please
who
don't
I am.
say that.
And I said, you're Mrs. Omer Barlow. And she lit up.
Oh.
I can't believe you remember me.
Thank goodness you remember.
They were across the street neighbors of ours when we lived in the church parsonage.
That's awesome.
And their son Gary and I played football together and a whole bit. So before she left, we went on to sit down, had our lunch, and she had hers with her friend. And she got hold of me, and she kissed me, the big old kiss on the side of the face. She said, I'm going to give you a kiss before I leave here.
Can't get away from the small town. Can't
I got
get away
me
from the small
some
town.
hometown honey.
That's amazing. I love that.
Isn't that great? So all that out of a middle child day story for today. So all you middle
So
children out
good.
there. And National Vinyl Record Day.
Yes,
Kelly
we've been
brought
talking about
part of
it.
her collection.
We got
Charlie
the whole
brought
stack.
his.
Yeah. So get out there, buy some vinyl, support your favorite local artists. That's the best thing you can do, especially if they do a vinyl pressing, because it ain't cheap. So go get some
Charlie,
records.
what are you in the market for right now? What are you looking for? Anything in particular?
The things I want, I can get. I just have to decide how much money I want because they're all really expensive. So
Yeah.
I'm not getting them.
Okay.
Like how expensive?
I'd love a Beatles Butcher cover to add to the collection.
What would that sit one back?
$600, $800.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in good shape.
Yeah.
And I'd love some of the Elvis Sun 45s. Like that's
Yeah.
all right, Mama's. $1,000 usually at least.
So $600?
For a Beatles Butcher cover, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So if Billy and Kelly and Annie and Jeff split it 4 ways,
Yeah.
Christmas, you'd be okay with that?
wow.
I don't see any rousing approval from the gang
No,
on
we were
this,
just-
on this theory. Wasn't quite planning on spending that much on Charlie, to be honest.
I see Jeff up in master control in the monitor laughing his head completely off.
We're in front of you, so we're not going to laugh until you turn around. We're like, oh, we love you. Here's a gift card to the Opry shop. You get 20%
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
20% off. We do have entertainment headlines. Want to hit you up with a few of them. Parker McCullum, congratulations to you and your beautiful wife, Hallie. Baby boy is here. His name is Major Yancey Tyler McCullum. That's a mouthful. But Yancey is a family name. Not only Tyler's middle name, but also I believe his dad and even his granddad have Yancey in their name. So it's one of those that goes across generations. Congratulations. You can see them posting pictures all over social media, bringing baby boy home to the family dog Ruger, which is adorable. It's so cute. So congratulations, Parker McCullum. New Sugarland music is something we didn't know we were going to get, but we got it. It's a 4-song EP. We are so excited to have new Sugarland music. It's been so long. So they're actually out on tour with Little Big Town. It's the Take Me Home tour. Both of them out doing different dates. This is a little sample of the title track of the EP, There Goes the Neighborhood. Take a listen. Got it in stereo. It's Sugarland. There goes the neighborhood. You got to take a listen to it, download it, preview, keep it all, the 4-track EP. Well, you got a little sample of it. It sounds better when you hear it on your own than when we have it going in all the channels all the time.
Here's the beauty, is we have 2 new boards, right? We have one here in the studio.
Yeah, and one upstairs.
Master control boards and one in master control. We just decided to use them both at the same time.
I had no idea that Jeff was supposed to play that. So I'm like, this doesn't sound right. It sounds like it's coming through
fine.
twice. Where is it coming from?
So it sounds better than that when you hear it just
Oh, a
once.
lot better.
I promise.
You heard that Cody show? They phase their music, man.
That's what they do. Little Big Town also releasing their greatest hits album, so you can get it. It's got 12 songs on it, including a duet with Kelsey Ballerini. The cool thing about this is it's all the songs that you know and love over their 25 years. 25 years as a band, if you can believe it. They also have a duet on there with Miranda Lambert. They do Little White Church. But the coolest one is the duet that they have with Sugarland. They got together to do a cover of Phil Collins' Take Me Home. Take a listen to this. Maybe. No, it's not happening.
No, it's happening.
It's happening.
I just wasn't sure what's happening today.
Yes.
This is it. It is a cover of Phil Collins' Take Me Home. You've got the harmonies of Little Big Town. You have our friends Sugarland on top of that. So it's all together. And they're out together on tour. It's the Take Me Home tour. So get your tickets now.
I'm going to participate in that tour very quickly. I'm going to take myself home.
Take yourself home.
Very fast. Yeah.
And Regina and Alfreda, the McCrary sisters. They are among our all-time favorites.
Love them.
And just to tease ahead to part of what we're doing on tomorrow's Coffee, Country, and Cody and getting ready for a Tuesday night Opry. Kelly Sutton hosts Luke Combs' 5th anniversary.